until you convert the price of things into pieces of your life that were ripped away from you, you will remain poor. Not poor in money, but poor in time, poor in life. There is a version of this quote that talks about suffering in an office. But we know that for most hard-working people, the hole is much deeper. Your suffering doesn't have air conditioning. Your suffering has the heat of the sun on the roof, the deafening noise of the factory machine, the loneliness of the truck cabin, or the leg pain from standing 10 hours serving people who don't even look at your face. Society programmed you to look at a price tag and see numbers. But I am here to teach you to see blood and sweat. When you buy that latest generation phone just to show you made it in life, or that car that cost double what you could afford, you didn't use the bank's money. You used the weeks you spent away from your children. You used the health of your spine that will never come back. You used the stress that is aging you prematurely. You are trading your finite life for futile things. Those who are 20 still think time is infinite. But you who have passed 30, 40, 50, you already feel the weight. You know the years are passing too fast. And the worst feeling in the world is reaching the end of the month, having paid all the bills. Looking around and realizing that you merely survived. You didn't live. If you keep trading hours of life for social approval, you will reach 60 with a full garage, but with an empty soul. I don't want this to happen to you. That's why I recorded this video not as entertainment, but as a survival manual. We are going to spend the next few minutes together covering 6 fundamental points. We will start by understanding the real value of your sweat, go through the ego trap, and walk to the practical strategy for you to stop selling your freedom for peanuts. Turn off distractions. What we are going to talk about now is rescuing the time you have left. Let's start by taking the blindfold off your eyes. The first thing we need to do is learn the math of life. Most people do napkin math that is a lie. They think like this. I earn $3,000 a month and work 8 hours a day. So my hour is worth X. This math is wrong. It is a trap. If you work in construction, driving in a factory or in retail, your work doesn't start when you clock in. It starts when the alarm rings and rips you out of bed when you still wanted to sleep. It includes that hour on the crowded bus or the time stuck in traffic burning gas. It includes the time you arrive home so exhausted you can't even play with your child. You just want to collapse on the sofa. All this is work time, all this is soul time. Let's do a quick calculation here. Imagine a worker who earns, say, $3,000 net. To earn this, he sold 220 hours of his month inside the company. But he also spent another 40 or 50 hours commuting. He spent his health, the back pain, the stress he brought home. When you write everything down, your hour of sold life is worth much less than you imagine. Maybe your hour of real suffering is worth $10, $12, or $15. Now look at that new phone, that symbolic iPhone from the title, which costs $1,000. Or look at the payments for that car you bought just for the neighbor to see. If your hour of real suffering is worth $15 and the phone costs $1,000, do the math. That's almost 70 hours. 70 hours are not 70 clock hours. The question I ask you right now is it worth it? Look at the object you want to buy now. Look at the designer clothes, the car accessory, the gadget. Imagine this object in your left hand. Now in your right hand, imagine 3 weeks of life. 3 weeks where you could be fishing, sleeping in, watching your son grow, taking care of your health. Are you willing to take these weeks of your existence and throw them in the trash in exchange for this plastic object in your left hand? This is what it means to convert the price into suffering. It's not about money. Money is infinite. The government prints more every day. Your life is not. Your life is a fuel tank that is punctured and leaking. Every day is one day less. When you understand the math of life, you stop seeing sales. You start seeing traps. Sale. Phone for $1,000. Your transformed mind reads, sale. Hand over 2 weeks of your freedom and take this device. Now that you understood the math, the question hammering in your head is, if it costs so much, if it costs my own life, why do I keep buying? The answer is tough, but necessary. You buy to relieve the pain of living the life you lead. The system we live in is a perfect slave factory. It works like this. You work in a job that tires you, that demands a lot from your body, where often you swallow pride and feel undervalued. You spend the whole week in this grind. When the weekend arrives or payday, your brain screams for relief. It screams for a reward. Then emerges the most dangerous phrase in the financial world: I deserve it. I worked so hard, I deserve these $200 sneakers. I suffered so much under the sun, I deserve to change cars. I put up with that annoying boss, I deserve this expensive steak dinner. You seek in consumption the respect and dignity you feel you don't have in daily life. When you enter a store to buy something expensive, the salesperson treats you like a king. For 15 minutes you feel important, you feel like you won. But this is an illusion. It is anesthesia. The system hurts you during the week and then sells you the Band-Aid on the weekend. Except to buy the Band-Aid, you need to get hurt again the following week. It is a vicious cycle. 1. You work and suffer. 2. You spend to feel relief. 3. The money runs out. 4. You need to work and suffer more to pay the relief bill. And there is another side to this trap, the display window for others. Many of us, men and women in our 30s, 40s, were taught that being someone in life means having things. If the neighbor got a new car and you didn't, you feel left behind. If the brother-in-law bought a giant TV and yours is old, you feel inferior. We are spending money we don't have, using credit cards, to buy things we don't need, to impress people who, deep down, don't even like us. Stop and think. How many hours of sweat, of road, of factory have you thrown away just to keep up appearances? Just to not look poor in front of others? The truth is, as long as you need material things to prove your worth, you will be a slave. The system loves this. The bank loves this. The boss loves this. Because those in debt can't quit, can't complain, have to lower their head and work double. Unbridled consumption is the handcuff you put on your own wrists. But there is a way to break this handcuff, and it's not by stopping spending money, it's by changing what you value. Many of you listening to me now use a very noble excuse to work so hard and buy so many things. You say, I do this for my family. I buy this big car so my kids have comfort. I pay for this expensive trip so my wife is happy. I work 14 hours a day so nothing is lacking inside the house. Is that really it? Or is this a lie we tell ourselves to relieve the guilt? The brutal truth is this: to your small child, you are worth much more sitting on the living room floor playing with him than a $100 toy you bought to compensate for your absence. The most expensive bill you pay doesn't come on the credit card. It is called the absence bill. And the one paying this bill is not you, it's them. Your children pay with the longing for a father or mother who is always tired, always stressed, or always at work. Your spouse pays with the loneliness of a marriage where you only talk about bills and problems. Because there is no energy left for affection, for conversation, for romance. You are trading your presence for presents. You are filling the house with objects, but emptying the house of memories. Think with me, 20 years from now, what will your child remember? Will he remember the brand of sneakers you gave him when he was 10? Probably not. But he will certainly remember the times you promised to come home early to see his game and didn't arrive. He will remember the times you were physically in the room, but with your head on the bills, yelling about any nonsense because you were exhausted. Family time is fragile glass. Your parents are aging. How many more Sundays do you have with them? Your children are growing. That phase of wanting to play with dad passes quickly. When you kill yourself working to buy futile things, you are stealing time from these people. You are saying, without using words, this new television is more important than spending Saturday with you. It hurts to hear this, I know, but I need to tell you the truth. No company ID is worth a stroke. No status is worth watching your family fall apart. We need to stop giving our best to strangers on the street and at work, and bringing the rest, the scraps, the tiredness, the bad mood, to those we love. The inheritance you leave is not the money or the house. The inheritance is who you were to them. So far we talked about money and time, But there is a currency that when it runs out, the game ends. Your health. Especially us, hard-working men and women, were raised with the mindset that work dignifies, that we have to be strong, that rest is for the weak. You treat yourself like a machine. You think you are a tractor, an unbreakable truck. But I have bad news for your ego. You are made of flesh, bone, and nerves, and this machine has an expiration date. If you are between 20 and 30 years old, your body still forgives the abuse. You sleep little, eat poorly, lift heavy loads wrong, stress out, and the next day you are new. But when you cross the line of 40, 50 years old, the body starts presenting the overdue invoices. It's what I call the biological toll. It's that lower back pain that no longer goes away with medicine. It's the high blood pressure that forces you to take pills every day. It's the nervous gastritis, the insomnia, the anxiety that tightens the chest on Sunday night. Look at the tragic irony of modern life. You spend the first half of your life destroying your health to gather money and buy things. And you spend the second half of your life spending all the money trying to recover your health just to stay alive. The pharmacy became your business partner. Health insurance takes a huge slice of what you earn. Is it worth it? Was it worth doing those crazy overtime hours, taking that dangerous load without sleeping, or double shifting at the factory to buy the car of the year? If the price was a herniated disc that now prevents you from playing ball with your son, if your work instrument breaks, if the truck engine blows, if the machine fails, you fix or replace it. But what if you break? If you have a heart attack today because of stress and bills to pay, your boss replaces you in a week. The company goes on, the traffic goes on, but in your home at the dinner table, your chair will stay empty forever. Your health is your greatest asset. Without it, $0 in the account matter. Without it, the latest generation iPhone is useless in a hospital bed. You need to stop selling your health for peanuts. There is no overtime that pays for a burnout. There is no bonus that pays for depression. We need to slow down. But I know what you are thinking right now. All this is beautiful in theory, but I have bills to pay. How do I get out of this wheel if I stop working so much? That's where we get into the practical part. You don't need to stop working. You need to stop being a hostage. You need an escape plan. We reached the turning point. You already understood that you are paying too much. You already understood that your health and family are suffering. Now the practical question, how to get out of this if I need to pay the bills? The answer is not earning more. The answer is needing less. There is an old concept called manumission letter. It was the document a slave bought to guarantee his freedom. Today, your manumission letter is strategic minimalism. I'm not talking about living in an empty house with one chair. I'm talking about cutting the fat to save the meat. The escape plan has 3 simple steps, but they require courage. Step 1, stopping the bleeding. Sit down today with your family and look at the expenses. Don't look at the dollar value. Look at the value in days of work. Does that luxury car financing cost 10 days of your work every month? Sell the car. Buy an economy one cheaper, cash if possible, or with a tiny payment. But what will the neighbors say? Let them talk. While they talk, you sleep peacefully. You just recovered 10 days of your life every month. Step 2, the 48-hour rule. Starting today, never buy anything futile on impulse again. Saw something you really want? Wait 48 hours. In this time, the emotion lowers and reason returns. You will realize that 90% of the time the urge passes. You didn't need that, you were just needy or stressed. Step 3, buying freedom. All the money left over because you stopped buying junk you won't spend. You will invest. Not to become a rich millionaire, but to buy days off in the future. Saved money is the only type of money that gives you the power to say no. If you have 6 months of bills paid in the bank, you don't need to accept humiliation from a boss. You don't need to take that dangerous load in the rain. You have the power of choice. The strategy is simple. Reduce the material standard of living to increase the real standard of living. It's better to live in a smaller house and have dinner with your family every day, smiling, than to live in a mansion and arrive there just to sleep, stressed and on medication. Lowering the cost of living is the fastest way to get rich in time. If you need 5,000 to live, you are a slave to 5,000. If you learn to live well on 3,000, you just bought the freedom of the difference. We reached the final point of our manual, and perhaps this is the most important of all. Do you know why? Because deciding to change is easy. The hard part is staying changed when the whole world screams for you to get back in line. The moment you turn off this video and go out to the street, the war restarts. You will face two powerful enemies that want your money and your time: marketing and social pressure. First, understand the marketing game. There are billions of dollars being spent right now by teams of psychologists and neuroscientists with a single goal: making you feel incomplete. Advertising doesn't sell a car. It sells the illusion that with that car, you will be respected. They create a hole in your self-esteem and then sell you the product to plug that hole. If you don't have an armored mind, you fall. You see the ad and think, wow, I need this. No, you don't need it. You lived very well without it until 5 seconds ago. You need to learn to look at a shop window and say, this is beautiful, but it's not worth 300 hours of my life. My freedom is more beautiful. The second enemy is even harder: the people around you. When you start saying no to futile spending, when you sell the expensive car to drive a cheap one, they will call you crazy. They will call you cheap. They will ask if you are broke. People who are trapped in the rat race, in debt and tired, feel bothered when they see someone breaking free. Your freedom offends their prison. To win this, you need to redefine what success is in your head. Society says success is the guy in the financed BMW with the gold watch having a heart attack at 50 from stress. For us, here on the Mind Transformation channel, success is different. Success is sleeping 8 hours a night without worry. Success is having time to watch your son play ball on a Tuesday afternoon. Success is having the account in the green and a clear conscience. You need to shield your mind. You need to stop following influencers who show off fake lives. Mental shielding is daily. Every day you wake up and renew your vow of freedom. Today, I will not trade my life for trash. We reached the end of our journey. We started this video with a harsh quote about iPhones and offices, but we end with something much bigger. We end by talking about the only wealth that really matters: your existence. If you watched until here, your mind is no longer the same as 30 minutes ago. Starting tomorrow, when you pass by a shop window, or when you see a tempting ad on the internet, something will light up in your head. You will no longer see a price in dollars. You will see days of your calendar. You will see drops of your sweat. You will see hours away from those you love. You learned that real poverty is not the lack of money in your pocket. Real poverty is reaching the end of life and realizing you built an empire of things, but lived in a desert of time. It doesn't matter if you are a truck driver, bricklayer, doctor, salesperson, or factory worker. Time is the only resource that is equal for all of us. The richest man in the world, and you have the same 24 hours. The difference is that the rich buy other people's time and the poor sell their time to buy trash. I want you to leave this video with a mission. The mission to rescue your life. Start small. Say no to a futile purchase today. Take that money and buy your freedom for tomorrow. Exchange status for peace. Exchange the approval of others for connection with your family. Don't wait for a bad medical diagnosis to change. Don't wait for the children to leave home to want to play with them. Life is now. The bill of life is due every day, and the currency is time. Pay this bill by being happy, not by being a consumer. If today's conversation touched your heart, and especially if it made sense for your reality, I have a request. This channel is called Mind Transformation for a reason. Our mission is to free people. I know you know someone, a work friend, a brother, a cousin, who is right now killing themselves working to pay debts they didn't need to have. Someone who is suffering and doesn't know how to get out of this wheel. Do this person a favor. Share this video with them right now. Send it on WhatsApp. You could be saving someone's life and marriage with this simple gesture. And if you want to continue shielding your mind and learning to live wisely, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. We are just starting this revolution. Leave the phrase here in the comments, I choose my life. Write this to affirm the public commitment to your freedom. Thank you for your time, which now you know how much it's worth. A big hug, stay with God, and see you at the next transformation.